Okay, so here in Mexico. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be going over the all-new Kia EV6 GT. This is the crazy fast version of the EV6. But before we get in this video, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Sandler Kia here in Salt Lake City for giving me some time with this EV6. This particular one is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. And if you don't know, the Jerry Sandler Kia does not charge any sort of markups over MSRP ever, so if you want a great deal on a Kia, just reach out to them, ask for Patrick. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So with the GT version, we have a dual electric motor setup paired to a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack. This gives the GT 206 miles of driving range and then a whopping 576 horsepower and then 545 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, this has the normal EV6 hood, which is kind of hard to see what's happening with the white paint, but you got distinctive lines there, and then you got the Kia logo there in the center. Really cool daytime running lights there with the LED headlamps, and then look at the blacked out trim there in the front, and then you guys can see parking sensors down below, and then notice how it's all blacked out here at the bottom as well. It's kind of hard to see because the white like just kills the camera filter, but there's a better look at the trim. Putting it all together, I think that this is such a cool looking EV. Coming around the side here, tire and wheel setup is 255, 40, 21 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys will notice here with the wheel design, pretty sharp looking, not aerodynamically efficient whatsoever, but that's not the point of the GT. The GT's be fast and cool. And you got those acid green brake calipers, and the GT does come with its own set of brakes. Obviously you need better stopping performance when you have as much power as this has. We've got the body painted fender flares here. Notice the trim on the side blacked out. And then you guys can see the mirror blacked out, and then also look at the pillar blacked out as well. And taking a look at the full side view here, it's such a cool, sleek, futuristic looking SUV. Now taking a look at the key fob here, we've got the remote start function, we have our self-park function with the Kia logo, and then you can see we've got our unlock lock function, the opening here for the hatch, which we'll pop that right now. And boom. Now popping into the hatch area with the EV6, first off you notice that we've got the cargo cover built in from the factory, and says EV6. That lets us know how much weight you can put on this. And you can see the storage just underneath. But yeah, pretty practical. And of course, when you're all done, just press that button and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now the first thing we need to go over in the rear is going to be the charging port, so you can just kind of press it and then it'll open up. This does have DC fast charging. It's an 800 volt architecture if you guys are wondering, and then when you're done just press that and it'll close it right back up. Now going over some other elements, I love the turn signal indicator there and then the taillight as well. It's this cool like giant light bar on the back end, and then you guys can see all the rest of the badges there. Pretty normal parking sensors at the bottom as well. And then putting it all together, I do think that the EV6 GT just, I mean, it doesn't look too much different than regular EV6, but it still looks cool. Now taking a look at the door panel here in the rear, you guys can see we've got some like Alcantara here, which looks fantastic. We've got our heated seat function for the rear passengers, Meridian sound system as well, and there's a door panel. Now with the seats, you've got that acid green stitching, and so you guys can see with the Alcantara there in the center, and very soft to the touch on the side. Legroom here in the back is actually fantastic. Got some charging ports here as well, but I guess no seat netting or anything. And then headroom's also great. And we got a cup holder armrest. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see again with our Alcantara, which looks fantastic. All of our window controls here with our mirror adjustments. This does have power folding mirrors as well. And so you guys can see they've got blind spot monitoring on top of that. But something else I want to mention is this is cool to the door handle. I think that's nice attention to detail. Now here are the front seats. Again, you've got that acid green all over. GT there actually at the top. But yeah, really cool bucket seats. One downside though is they are manually adjustable. And then you guys can see pretty cool pedals at the bottom. Now I've got our parking brake here with the stability control, and then you guys can see here with the charging port to open up that and then the hatch as well. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, I love the overall design. Obviously got the 2-spoke design. Paddle shifters here on the back for the regen system. And then we got stuff for like your voice command controls, your volume controls, you got your adaptive cruise control with your steering assist on the other side, and then stuff for the center stack as well. And then you guys can see we've got our little GT button there again in acid green. And then we've got our drive mode select as well. And then we've got our turn signal light stock and then our windshield wiper stock. Now I've got this full digital gauge cluster. Right now we have it set to show us where the power is going, which I want to have that show for later. But you can scroll through other menus there in the center, as you can see. And then notice it'll let us know our state of charge, what the regen is at, and then you guys can see how much range we have. And that's cool that we're gonna be able to see the torque there at the bottom. Now in reverse, we do have a full 360 camera system. So first off, trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel for the rear view there, and then you guys can see the top view as well. And then we even have this exterior shot, and so really good camera system. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, I love how it shows us our charge and everything. Responds really well. This is just Kia's normal infotainment system, so nothing too crazy happening with it. But obviously you got the EV tab, which is cool that it shows us if we have the climate controls on or off, what we're going to get in terms of the range. I love the dash design here. I think that looks really cool. And then of course we got another GT logo there at the end. Now this is our multi-control stack, that's at least what I will call it. So right now it's set to control stuff for like the radio, nav, all that kind of stuff, but I can press the little fan and then it'll pop over to the climate control section, and notice how it completely changes. Got some USB ports down there, and then this obviously has like this floating center console design, and also some more charging ports and then some more storage underneath. Now notice that we've got heated seats and heated steering wheel, no cooled seats. And then I love the stop start button right there. And then we've got the dial shifter, normal EV6 thing. Some storage here, cup holder action, all that. And then your auto hold, that's for the camera, that's for your parking sensors. Wireless phone charging pad right here. And then look at the center console, it kind of matches the dash in terms of the appearance. Storage space there is pretty solid. And going back to the dash, pretty big glove box. Now up top, we've got our control here for the sunroof. This just has like a little sunroof, but it's all controlled automatically. There's no like manual shade. Now here's our window sticker for this EV6 GT. You guys can see all the standard equipment. And then if you guys are running on the warranty, 10-year 100,000 mile on the powertrain warranty, and then 10-year 100,000 mile on the battery warranty, and then 5-year 60,000 mile on the basic. Anyways, 61,400 is the base MSRP after all options. This one stickers for 63,485. And let's see how the GT drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and hope you can now see the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And with that being said, well, let us set right off. So, first off, I will say that these seats are quite a bit more aggressive than when you get in a regular EV6. In the manual function, here's the deal. I know some people will complain about that, but what I'd have to say is I've owned cars with manual seats, I've owned cars with power seats. Trust me, I prefer power seats just like most people, but, big but, manual seats are fine if you're the only person that drives the car, because it's like then you set it to what you have it set at and then you're good to go. So I don't think it's a huge deal. Interesting to see that this kind of sends more power to the rear. Yeah, look at that. It's sending all of it to the rear there. So it's pretty interesting. We also have the turn signal camera, which I've always been a huge fan of as just a nice piece of safety tech. Test drive might be interesting today because we've got a lot of construction stuff going on down here in Salt Lake. So yeah, it makes for interesting driving routes and everything. But anyways, let's actually get up and move here. Heck, let's just punch it in the normal mode. Right off the bat, this thing's fast. That's not even in the GT mode, that's just in the normal mode. And it moves, let me tell you. We're gonna pop the regen to the most aggressive setting. So yeah, we got max. So now it's a one pedal drive. Are you gonna hit into the F250? Nope. I don't have to pay for a Kia EV6 GT. We're good. The regen system works. I really like one pedal drive, honestly. I think that it's a nice system to have, because then what it really does is it just makes it so obviously you can, get more range out of the battery pack. But also on top of that, oh man, there's a train there. We're not going that way. But if we go the other way, This is a bad situation for me because there's construction that way. There's a train this way. Let's pop into the GT mode right here. Okay, so now we're in the GT mode. Turn stability control off, it looks like. And I guess we'll kind of... Whoa! Okay, it's way more aggressive with the response. We're going to pop back into normal mode for a second. Yeah, that is significantly more aggressive. I will say the suspension is actually relatively comfortable over all these bumps and everything. Downtown Salt Lake is pretty dang beat up when it comes to the roads. It's probably why they're doing all this construction here. And I think it handles it well. Especially for more of like a performance-y type vehicle. Look at that, TRX, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think the damping, like, it stays nice and planted, so I think they did a good job with the damping. And the seats over this are not like I'm staying like nicely in the seat. And so I'd say overall, job well done with the whole setup on this. Man, they really need to, like, honestly, I would not feel comfortable taking like a sports car down this road. They really need to redo these roads. Where are our tax dollars going? Where are they going? Okay, so we are getting up and moving again. Now we're on a less bumpy, beat up road, and so I guess we'll be able to see how this performs on more smooth pavement, I suppose. Yeah, a lot more, obviously a lot more comfortable. But yeah, it just glides. I really like how this drives as an EV. I think that it drives really well. And I will say this kind of shows me a slight downside to the... Let's go, Max. Are we gonna crash into the Titan? No brakes applied at all. And this Titan gets to live another day. The jokes I'm making in today's video. But I feel like this is a big hit to like the GV60 from Genesis. Obviously, same company, but the luxury offshoot. Because like this interior feels just as cool and special. I love the exterior styling on this. And you know, with this GT package, this drives just as good as the Genesis GV60. And the thing is, this has more power than the GV60. Because even with the GV60's boost function, that's like 480 with a horsepower. This obviously is over 500. So I'll get a full-blown acceleration to see if I can actually perceive the difference, because it's kind of hard with the EVs. Like, you add 100 horsepower and it's like, kind of feels faster, not really. But yeah, I think this is kind of a blow, because it's obviously a lot less expensive too. So that's another big thing. Gosh, I love the turn signal camera. It's such a nice feature. Okay. So we're still in just the... Let's actually pop it into the sport mode, see how that... Yeah, so it instantly, like, feels more aggressive with the throttle. See, we made the right choice, because look at that. The train is still going through. Oh, it's just stopped. The train's just stopped. Oh, man. And now there's people turning around. They're like, I ain't doing this. Hey, I get that. Okay, so we're in the GT mode now. Okay, so here in Mexico. Wow. Yeah, that's fast. That is fast. Wow. I don't think it feels any quicker though than the GV60 when you're in the boost function. So like, this is fast, but it's not... it's weird. It technically has more power, but it doesn't necessarily feel any faster. But something to mention, we're at 66% charge, and it's cold outside, so that could play a part. But anyways, EV6 GT. I think this is my new favorite performance EV. Prior I'd say it was probably the Mustang Mach-E and maybe the GV60, but after driving this, and I love the looks, I love the interior. This is my favorite, and I think it's priced pretty reasonably, $60,000 for all the equipment you're getting, for the performance you're getting. I think it's actually a really good deal. But let me know what you guys think about the new EV6 GT.